Hi everyone, Sat here. So first of all, thanks for all the comments. I appreciate that. Hello to the new subscribers. This is the second week, so second video. I'll release a video every week. I don't know when during the week, so make sure you have subscribed and you've hit that notification bell as well. So in this week, I'm going to be showing you how to get Vuforia augmented reality working using, in particular using targets, which I keep getting asked quite a bit about. So I'll show you how to do targets this week, and then maybe next week I can show you how to mix targets with AR core as well. All right, so enjoy. Is we need to make sure we've got Vuforia enabled. So in the same way we have Android enabled and iOS enabled in our settings, we need to make sure we have Vuforia enabled. So to do that, we might actually need to restore our Unity editor. So I've double clicked it and I'm going back into it, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here in the components window. So in the components window, what we need to make sure we have is this Vuforia augmented reality needs to also be selected. Now that's selected, we have the options to use Vuforia alongside everything else. So now I'm going to hit continue, put in my password, and then I should be able to continue on with the installation as normal and use Vuforia inside Unity, which I'm going to also do now. Great, so we've got our new project up and running here. The next thing I'm going to do is go to build settings, and I'm going to make sure I've switched to Android. Then I'm going to click on player settings and I'm going to select, and now you can see we've got Vuforia augmented reality checkbox here as well. So I'm going to click that one. So it says in order to continue down, you need to agree to the terms below. Make sure you read that. I've seen this from before, so I'm going to click accept. And if I'm going to be honest, I never really read those, but you should make sure you do. And then I'm going to close it. So it says something's missing here. Let's try and clear this and see if we can still continue on. So we've got a configuration file here, an app license key. We've got a few things that we can look at. We've got some tracking. Okay. So before I look into this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to game object, and we've also got now Vuforia here. This wasn't here before. I'm going to add in the AR camera. I'm going to import these now. So that might have been why the error came up before, because it needed to import some of these packages. So let's let that import. Great, so that's finished downloading now. So we've got our AR camera here, which is to do with Vuforia, and we've got our normal regular main camera from our standard scene. So I'm going to delete that main camera because we don't need that. We just need our AR camera. But what we want to do is we want to have targets. So we need to go to game object, go to Vuforia, and then we want to put in a target, but it's not a model target, it's an image target. So I'm going to select image target, which is at the top here, and I'm going to make sure this is at 0, 0, 0 as well. I'm going to double click it. So this comes defaulted with an actual image, but we don't want that image for now. We want to do a custom image, right? So, well, actually, technically, we could. I believe we could build this as is, and it would work. We need to have some sort of object in here. So the way Vuforia works is it takes it has this image target behavior script. This image target behavior script, which is on the image target, is linked to a database. So this is linked to the Vuforia Mars images database. It's got an image target, which is the astronaut, which I assume is the actual. Let me see if I change this. Okay, that's the image that's coming up. That makes sense. So there's a database that has all these images, and all these images are from this database. And then there is some weight and height stuff which you can ignore for now. And then you have the default tracking and so on. So what we can do with this immediately, actually straight out of the box, if I save this scene and I built it onto the phone, if I put if I go to Asset Store and I get a game object, so let's do that now as well. Search whatever you want. I'm just going to click art and see what comes up, and I'm probably going to go with race car. Looks nice, but I'll see what else we've got here. That looks creepy. Okay, I'll go with robot car. This comes with this default with Unity technology, so I'll go with that. Download this into our project file, and it's really easy. Whatever game object you import, all you have to do is go to, when it finishes importing anyway, it takes a bit of time, as you already know. You go to projects, go to the there we go, robot Carl. Have we got? There we go. Here's robot Carl. Go to him, put him. I'll move this over here out of the way now. So we've got a scene here. Go to the image target, and we want to put robot Carl inside of our image target, and that's it. Now, the way this will work is anytime. Oh, and we should also make sure robot Carl is 0000, or whichever game object you use. So now whenever your camera, when you've got this on your phone, sees this image here, it will immediately, in the real world, it will immediately put robot Kyle on here on the image. So I guess I could quickly test this out for you using the. But I would need this image. So one way to test it out would be to put this onto the device and then film the screen, for example, with this image on the screen. Or you could, of course, print this image out. I don't really want to do that. Actually, in fact, I would much rather change this image target to something else. I don't really want that. I think that's what most of you want as well. You want to have whichever image you want. You might even want to have like a dollar bill or pound, £5 note or whatever you want, or something more unique for your game or your application. So let's have a look at that now. So if you head over to developer.vuforia.com, we can create our own database that has its own images in it. And I'm just going to have one image. They had a bunch of different images. I just want one for now to test out with. So I've signed up and I've created an account, and you can do the same as well. It's completely free. So it should be a simple case of going to, I think it's develop, great, yep, and then you need to create a license. So sign up, get development key. So if you click on development key, it tells you to create an app name. So I've got one already, which I've just done now before. I haven't tested it out yet, but we're going to do that now. So you just put in your name, follow the instructions, and then you'll get this Vuforia target test, which is what I created. This is an old one, and then you can just click on it, and it should give you the key for it, if I remember correctly. There we go. So your license key, and that's unique for everyone. Don't show it to anyone. I think I should have covered this up in post edit if I remember to. But don't show it to anyone because that should be unique to you. You want to copy this as well. And then you want to put that inside of, so it should be inside of, if you go to resources, Vuforia config, then you can add your app license here. So paste that in there. And I think that should allow you to use this and even deploy to officially to stores. So now you want to go down here and you have load Vuforia images, a few model tags, object tags, view. Right now we're only using the image tags, so we're just going to keep that one ticked. We don't need these yet, but you can tick those if you want, if you're just playing around with things and you're not sure. Then we want to go back to our developer side and go to Target Manager. Going to create a new database, give it a name. So I've given mine Vuforia test. Then you want to select your image. Now I found an image from the internet, which also happens to be the same image that is on a book that I have. It's a Tony Robbins book called Unleash the Power Within. So this is the same book. So this book I can use, basically I can put this book on the floor. I can point my camera at it and use that as the target. Now you could use anything. You could use you could use playing cards, for example, but you want to use something that's a little bit unique, that has a lot of images, that has a kind of a unique parts to it. So in my case, this has got quite a lot of potential tracking points, so feature points, I think they call it here, similar to point cloud, and that means that it's the more of these you have, the more it allows for Vuforia to pick up on what it's trying to see, and to recognize this and distinguish it instead of confusing it for something else. So okay, once you've done that, you want to go back to, make sure you go to Target Manager, Vuforia test, select that, and then you want to download, select your database, and see I've only got one image in there, so you want to download that image. So I just show you what I did. I clicked on Add Target, I browsed to the image that I had. So my image was in pictures. It was just a little thumbnail that I found off the internet, and then I put in width. I put in 1 because that's that's how many, that's the how big the image is going to really be target wise inside of Unity for me. Then I gave it a unique name, so in this case T Robbins, and that's it. And I clicked Add, so that created this here. Then I've downloaded this database already as well, so you can click download, select and Unity editor, hit download, and then select where you want to download it. So I've got it in Vuforia already here, so I won't download that again. But once you've done that, you can go to Assets, Import Package, Custom Package, and then select that target, and then you should have this. And when you import that, you can see where your image is going to be held. So it's going to be editor Vuforia, image test, target Vuforia, and then you'll have the name of it, and so on. So I'm going to click import for that, and then I'm going to go to I'm not sure why I've got this error for. Clear that. I think we don't need to worry about that for now. Vuforia, and then I've got my database here, image textures target here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my Vuforia test here, and there you can see I've got now my cover here as Tony Robbins. So we don't really need to know whereabouts it is actually, which is quite good, really helpful actually, since it's all in here. So now I'm going to save this, and I'm going to build it to my phone. Okay, so it failed, which is okay. Let's see if we can figure this out now. If I go to player settings, and disable the Android TV. I didn't even know that was on. Maybe that's on by default. Maybe, is that other settings maybe? Okay, so there's a few other things that I need to change this as well. So that should be. And then let's find out where the Android TV is. Here we go, Android TV compatibility. Let's get rid of that. And then let's try again. That must be where we were getting our errors from. So let's try build and run again. I'm going to build it in a random folder and try now. So I tried it on my phone and it didn't work, and the reason why is because we also need to go to resources, click on this config file, and select our database. So our database was load Vuforia test database. That's what I need to test, and I need to activate it as well. Now I should be able to build the device and it should work. So let's try it now. We go to file, build and run, and just let's see if it works on the device now. So this is my book. I'm going to place it on the floor and you can see immediately it's found the image. It's a bit jittery. I'm not sure exactly why. I think it might be to do with the actual image not being, oh there we go, maybe it's not finding it very well. The image that I'm using isn't perfect to the image that I have on the to the app. So you can see actually when I come in close, it's perfect because it can see the points really well. It's not jittery at all. Well, a little bit anyway. But as I move out, it starts to lose focus, which is why it's causing the jittery. The better your image is, the better it will work. I didn't actually use an image that was the same as this. My image, for example, doesn't even have the writing on it or anything like that. It's actually longer. So just make sure the image that you use is the same one. I could have also just taken a picture of it like that, and that could have worked. But anyway, we've got the basic thing working. It's not perfect but that's more to do with the image that I used. Okay, so this is better. I've actually used the image from my computer screen. I've just put it there, and you can see because the computer screen one is a lot higher definition, a lot larger than the one that I'm using off of my book. It's a lot more clearer. It's a lot less jittery as well. So I hope this is a kind of a better example of what I mean by how it would work. But it definitely does work. I just didn't use a very good image. So make sure you try and make sure the image that you use to to create your database is the exact image that you use in the real world. So you can see that this image is a lot larger here, a lot wider than the image that I have here. It's a lot smaller, and that's what causes this crazy jittering. All right. Anyway, there you go. I hope that helps. Anyway, helps add some clarity to this. See you next week.